Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I asked this question before, which I think it's natural, normal to be asked, and that is, what crews will operate the American Abrams tanks, which are delivered to Ukraine, are in Ukraine right now? Are they going to be Ukrainian crews, or are they going to be some other crews? And the same thing Sputnik asks the Russians, who is going to operate them? And the question is surrounding the time of training. How much time you need to train a tank crew in order to be able to operate as an expert a tank? Because you're not going to go over there with a beginner. It's your life, and it's a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment. So you have to be an expert. In order to be an expert, you have to practice, obviously. Now, the problem is there are physical, and mental barriers beyond which you can't add more. You saturate your ability, your physical abilities, your mental abilities, you saturate them. That is like at work. There are studies saying that after 6 hours of work, our input decreases exponentially. So even if we do, let's say we work overtime, after 6 hours of working, our efficiency starts dropping like this. So the more we work, the more it drops. So let's say you work 12 hours, so this is double the 6 hours. Let's say in the first 6 hours, your efficiency is, let's say, 100%. By the time you get that in the 12 hour, your efficiency will be about 10%. So if we add the 12th hour, the 11th, the 10th, the 9th, until the 6th, all those together will not be half of the 6 that you did at the first 6 hours. So the same, and then after that it blocks. I don't know if it happened to you. It happened to me. You work too much, you're done. You have a blockade. The same with the crew members. These people will be trained not only in operating a machinery that they've never been in. Yes, they know how a tank operates in a different. It's not like, okay, this is a steering wheel or whatever it is, acceleration, brake, and maybe if you have a clutch and all that. You need more, including the fact that you have to know the tank inside out, operating it. And is the language barrier. So let's say as far as I read this little article, I think for a American crew, they need about 12 weeks or something, if I remember correctly, or 12 months. Let me go over that and read this article for you right here, ready? But you can't, my point is, you can't push it. Your body will collapse. Your brain will refuse to suck any more information and knowledge and retain it. It's like a poem. You can read that poem, let's say 20 hours. Your brain refuse to memorize anything beyond a few hours. It's done, saturated, like a sponge. You need to wait, that is to, squeeze that sponge for the next day and then try again. Otherwise, it's going to saturate in the first few hours. But anyway, the same thing these guys ask. How long does it take to train an Abrams crew, and who will be manning them in Ukraine? And they bring the probability. Now, it says here that the delivery of the first batch of Abrams made one to Ukraine has been met. Okay, good. It says here that you need to know what you're doing over there, obviously. And it says light speed training from the realm of fantasy. So light speed training. That's what I was saying. It says about 200 Ukrainian tankers are reported to have received 10 to 12 weeks of training to operate and repair Abrams. So 10 to 12 weeks, far below the 22 weeks. That's half. The US Army takes to train a crewman. Now remember, the Americans already speak the language. These guys don't. And there's the technical terminology that I am not aware of. I'm an English-speaking person. I've been speaking English for at least 30 years. More than that. So anyway, it's just and still technical notions, technical terms I am not familiar with. It's like a new language. If I would start to, I have a dictionary like this big right there, and the rest of the office is bookshelves over there. I have over there like this thick, and I will bring it for you right now. Oops, just a second. And here they are, two of them. They are Romanian dictionaries. One is technical dictionary, and this is English Romanian. You can find this one in many places, but you don't find the other one. The other one is harder to get. This one is easier. And this one right here, this is from family engineers that I have in a family. Oops, maybe the other upside down. I think this is the harder one. No, this is 997. I don't think this is one. And this is a different kind, obviously. Maybe if I go by smell, because one of them stayed at home and people smoke in the home. 1970. No, this is the harder one to get because it's English Romanian. So it's harder because you have to not look how many. Yeah, this is from home, from Romania. Okay, so this is old people. 1,105 pages right here, and this one looks whiter. Obviously, this is about what? 1,520 some pages. So it doesn't mean that the Ukrainians have to. You see this one with smoke, no smoke, smoke, no smoke. Old home, new home. This is from my father. The one with smoke right here is with my father and older. Anyway, so it doesn't mean that the Ukrainian tanker has to learn this, but they have to learn a lot. All right, thank you for participating. So we have here, let's go back to this. To attach a maintenance operator to repair the complex tanks. In the US military, becoming an Abrams repairman requires applicants to score within the top 99th percentile of the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test, or the top 88th percentile of the Mechanical Maintenance and 92nd percentile of the General Technical Test. Whether and how these issues have been addressed for Ukraine's tankman is unclear. So that's a system that you have to go to classes, you have to pass test 99 percentile over there. And it says it's supposed to be 8 months of training, but they want to do it in 12 weeks. 3 months in 12 weeks. This is something out of the realm of fantasy, end quote. Viktor Litovkin, a retired Russian army colonel and veteran military observer specializing in tanks, told Sputnik when asked just how realistic it is to train an Abrams tanker in such a short time frame. And even he says, even the best, quickest training troops cannot master this tank in 3 months because they have never seen anything like it before. Litovkin emphasized, pointing to the Ukrainian tank's crew's decades-long experience with Soviet-era armor, whose design, school, and operations philosophy differs vastly from NATO's. And I'm quoting, "A good tankman knows his machine from top to bottom. He has to know it through and through," end quote. How long has it been since you've seen a Ukrainian tank driver who knows engineering and military terminology specialized English? Remember? I can't imagine that there are many such people in the ranks of the Ukrainian armed forces. Translation is not just a matter of inconvenience, but of perception. Everything inside the tank is in English, including instructions and manuals, so the language barrier is quite significant. Could Ukraine's Abrams be manned by Western mercenaries or NATO troops? And he says here, pointing out that the Ukrainian servicemen the US has trained to operate Ukraine's Abrams could easily be killed in future battles. Litovkin said it remains an open question about who could replace them. And I'm quoting, "It is very likely that these tanks will be operated by Western mercenaries," he said, "not necessarily from the US, but from any other country where these tanks are used. From Poland, for example. So it says, moreover, the precedent already exists. Late last week, Russian forces reported that they had destroyed a German-supplied Leopard tank in Zaporozhye, manned by an entirely German-speaking crew, with the tank's mechanic emphasizing that he was not a mercenary, but a Bundeswehr serviceman. What did I tell you, my friends, for so long? What did I tell you for so long? They will be operated by these guys. The F-16 will be operated by if you remember, I gave you the example, I made a video on that. The MiG-15 in Korea were operated by the Soviets, not by the Koreans. Some of them, I think, at late the end of the war, were operated by Koreans, but at the beginning it was the Soviets. I said it, and that's well, anyway, this is it, my friends. It's not going to be the Ukrainians. I mean, as I said, physiologically, it can't be. But hey, even if you're Superman, your body will block it. You know, even Superman has the kryptonite. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.